Well, so now that we've gone through identify, protect, you just walked us through, you said kind of the fun game of detect. Let's go on to the next one that I think is probably maybe not as fun, which is the respond component. So how do you know when you've responded to these things, and walk us through what you had to do for the NIST framework on responded?
So what we've done is respond is fun. It's scary. The adrenaline really gets rushing. Panic sets in. The whole world is on fire. And it's just an enjoyable place. All right, I might be a little twisted.
I'd say that doesn't sound fun, Neal.
But what you need to do is you need to, before anything happens, step through or develop essentially run books or playbooks. If we use email compromise as an example, is what happens at some point you have become aware, or your end user has become aware, that there's an account that's being misused. First thing you got to do is you got to secure that account, right? So you need to, in the Gmail or the Google sphere, right? Change the password, reset the login so that you know that they're not logged in anyplace else. But then you need to go through and start figuring out what email was sent, how it was processed. ManagedMethods provides a functionality for that is a lot smoother than trying to use some of the built-in Google tools. You can actually figure out all emails sent from an account, where it went, as well as docs, and what docs were shared, what were modified, what was changed. And that's all important pieces to understanding, what has happened. But in New Hampshire, when we have a data breach, if we cannot determine whether or not the data is going to be used in a malicious manner, which 9 times out of 10, you can't definitively determine that, we need to notify the Attorney General that we suffered a data breach. So we have a specific law that requires us to notify, anybody that was involved with the data breach, as well as the Attorney General. A lot of the news outlets monitor that Attorney General notification, looking for public schools to announce that, they've had some sort of a data breach. So what I like to do is I like to walk through with my administrators, the superintendent, the business manager, like the whole administrative team, and say, all right, here's a scenario. We've had an account compromised. We've leaked some data. We've got to publicly say we had an issue. We've resolved it to the best of our ability, but we don't know what the data is going to be used for. Their phones are going to start to ring like crazy. It will be, the teachers are in a panic. What happened? The parents are going to be in a panic. What happened? Where's the data? How's it impacting me? And then you've got all of your news agencies. And hopefully, it's only the local news agencies that pick it up, because you really don't want those national news trucks parked out in front of your building or showing up on Krebs' site. It's a bad day for you. So just really preparing and mentally walking through how you're going to respond as an organization. Develop those partnerships with your local law enforcement, with federal law enforcement, with your insurance company. Find out who they have on retainer to handle your cybersecurity insurance needs. Start a relationship with that company beforehand, because it will all pay off in dividends once you have to ring that bell.
So that's, again, it doesn't sound as fun. It certainly is the detection side of things, but obviously it's a very crucial and important piece. So just a lot of it's kind of like, when X happens, here's how we respond. And so it's basically a lot of preparing for what you hope doesn't happen, but you got to still prepare for it.
Correct. I mean, as an IT department, you know where your skeletons are. You know what would be a really bad day for you. So start there. Start with, all right, what would happen? What would be my worst day? And play that out. And then start modifying your plans to adapt and to make that transition and response smoother than it is, having the superintendent pick up the phone and say, hey, you've got a problem.
Yeah, I just saw this on the news. Tell me about it. So,